Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Dogs. I'm Susan Allen Medium. I'm an evidential psychic medium and animal communicator. This podcast is a place to share insights into the spirit world and soulful stories of animals and what they can teach us about a life aligned with love. So grab your mug and let's dive into some magic together. Hello, everybody. Another episode with Coffee with Dogs with Susan Allen, psychic medium, and Stephanie. Hi, Steph.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Fun. I love being here with you.
Oh, I love it too. We've got a fun episode. I think a lot of people wonder, especially those who haven't had a pet reading before, what
Mhm.
kinds of things do our dogs say? What does the cat really think? Do they remember the same things that we do? What do they want us to know about them? So today, I thought we'd talk about doing pet readings and what kinds of messages come through from our pets, both the living and the past. So this will be interesting.
Mm. I just thought of I remember I worked in a crystal shop and I would do like 12 readings a day, 15-minute increments, and people were bringing bunnies and strollers and cats and strollers. And I was thinking, why are you bringing the pets? We can just talk to the pets. They don't need to be here. Their soul and
People don't
energetics.
know.
I was feeling so bad for the animals. Because bunnies don't want to leave their cages and their house. And it was pretty funny. And we realized like we didn't put it in the
Oh,
messaging in the flyer. Your pets don't need to be present with
yeah.
you. You could just bring a picture. I love looking at pictures. Do I need a picture? No. Do I love a picture?
Hmm.
Yes. Because those eyes, like looking in the soul of the pet's eyes, is so moving and wonderful,
Yeah.
So I remember the owner of the shop, it no longer exists. She wanted a reading, to see if I had anything to say first before she would commit to hiring me. I think, or we were taping for a TV show. I don't even remember, but she was with me and she brought me a picture of her kitty. And I said, boy, this cat loves looking at you when you're in the shower. I just blurted it out. And she goes, oh my God. And she goes, the cat sits on the toilet and stares at me when I'm in the
That is so
shower. And
funny.
I was like, isn't that
I'm glad I don't have
funny?
one of those. Yeah.
That was like one of the first like things the cat blurted out and said. And everybody cracked up. And then I remember my friend brought her dog in to the shop because dogs are a little bit more portable, walking around Santa Monica, California. And she brought her dog in, and the dog was sitting there and going, I just have these fond memories from the very
Right.
beginning, like these rememberings. A lot of what I deal with is death and crossing over and after they cross, or when they're living, when they start
Right.
getting ill. People don't always want to talk to their dogs when their dogs are
Right. They
perfect. You
don't
know
think
what I
of it.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't, you know. So the my girlfriend brought her dog in and I said, and I didn't know a lot about her personal life. I say she's a friend because she was a real estate friend. I didn't know a lot about her personal life.
Hmm.
But her dog was like, would you tell her to start dating? Like she wasn't a dater. She didn't want to date. She just had her
Right.
friends and she wasn't into dating or going out. She just liked what her life was. She
Hmm.
liked selling houses and she was like, she looked at me and he goes, well, that dog has a lot to say, doesn't it? And it's kind of like they push us to the next adventure.
Hmm.
And that's why I love talking to dogs that are perfectly fine and nothing is wrong with them because they'll tell me things about their home or their parents. And some dogs even will tell me about medical conditions that I think we discussed. If we haven't, that'll be another episode.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the types of themes that come up in a reading with a pet? Like, do they always want to talk about food or their favorite places to go, or what did you always tend to see?
I guess that wouldn't be the only thing that they bring up. They just throw it in there, I would say. They talk about their home, they talk about their environment, they talk about funny smells if they're allergic. They talk about handymen that come in. I used to talk to a
Right.
Persian cat from Beverly Hills,
A Persian
and
cat in
the
Beverly. That's so Beverly Hills.
yeah, that's like it's such a like thing,
Uh,
right? And he would say to me, "The handyman really likes my mom," and I would be like, "Is this something evidential that your mom needs to know?" He goes, "I don't know, maybe, like it's in real time. I'm having this kooky conversation. People probably think I'm mad, but ask me if I care. I really don't." So I would be having a kooky conversation with the Persian cat about the handyman, let's say. And then if a bird, like let's just say a bird would come into my readings from the spirit world, like I would be doing like a regular reading with someone,
okay.
right? And then a bird appears, and I'd say, "Did you have a bird?" And they'd say, "Yes." And I would say, "Well, now your grandfather has the bird on his shoulder. Would you understand what this means?" And it was so evidential for this one girl. We're friends today. So I guess this wouldn't be like the happiest story, but it is now because she's still alive.
Okay. Works.
But she said to me when I had very bad cancer and I had two small kids, and I was like, "I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I'm so ill. I'm so ill. Grandpa, I need a sign." And she said she looked out at her balcony and a big giant green parrot just came onto the balcony.
Wow.
So when I was doing a reading with her, and she's adorable, and she forgot about the reading and she used the back room of her hairdresser. So she goes, "I know I look crazy." She ended up becoming a really good friend. She had all these tin foils on her hair, and her hair was this big. She was getting like frosting, I guess, or whatever you do when you have all these
All
foils
right.
like this
Color. I
big.
do it.
Yeah. And she goes, "I'm so sorry. I forgot about her reading. I'm in the back room and I'm giving her this message, this really powerful message." I said, "Well, your grandfather came in and a parrot just landed on her shoulder, his shoulder." And she said, "I can't tell you how much this means." Like, that's how spirit uses me.
Hmm. What you need to
So they
know.
give me subtle, like the people would just know what it meant. I wouldn't know what it meant. That's why I just give you what I get. Because most of the time, as a medium, it means nothing to us. But she said, my grandfather answered my prayers because now my kids are all grown, they're in college, and the cancer never came back. So she's a very special woman.
I want to say something about that. You said she was like getting her hair done, but you don't care where people are and what they look like for the reading, right?
No,
Okay.
no, I
I
get a
think
lot
people
of
get hung up on
cars.
it. Exactly.
Right.
And like you do what you can
I
do.
get a lot of ladies in cars because they don't
Hilarious.
want their husband to know, number one, they're talking to a medium,
Right.
probably number two, that they blew money on a medium, and three, they want a very private moment.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do readings in their cars,
Sure.
and I love being in my car giving readings.
Yeah.
I just give them when I feel like spirit is coming through me, and I know.
How can we prepare a living pet for a reading? Can we tell them, like, listen, you're going to talk to this psychic lady. You're going to need to tell her, like, why you're not sleeping in your bed or why can we talk to them prior to a reading and get a better result?
They know exactly what's going on. That's such a great, cute question. I love your questions. Animals, when I've read for them, I've heard people will say, "My dog just jumped in the bathtub. I'm on the phone with you. He just jumped in the bathtub. He's never done that." And I'm like, "Yep, very typical." Or I'll be on the phone, um, Zoom, and all of a sudden the cat will just like appear on the desk.
Hmm.
And they know exactly what's going on because the energy shifts in the house
Right.
and the energy shifts with them. So they feel me communicating with them. They know that this is a real thing and this is happening. And usually animals are so thrilled to do
Yeah.
this. That's been my observation with how happy and, excited they are to have a session
Yeah.
with me. And it makes me so joyful and so happy because I love animals so much.
Can people ask specific questions in a reading of their pets?
Generally, I like spirit to lead.
Hmm.
And what I have found is towards the end of the reading, I always leave moments open for them to ask questions.
Sure.
But through all the readings I've done, Spirit answers everything they need because I'll say, do you have any questions? And 9 times out of 10, which is a good, average, people will say you answered everything. So I'm not in charge.
Hmm.
It's your pet and the spirit world that's in charge. They know what you need. I just am a conduit to bring those messages to you when you need them.
Do the pets ever discuss other pets in the house?
Oh God, yes. Or even birds or the next door neighbor's cat or their friendship with the neighbor's dog. I mean, they tell me whatever is funny, cute, and
Hmm.
important to them. Like sometimes you'll have an owner that said, I just rescued this dog. I'd love to know the history. They don't want to talk about
Interesting.
their bummed
Yeah.
lifestyle. They're smart. They're about reaching for higher levels. They don't want to talk about how they were abused or left alone or not fed or not watered or
Right.
not walked. That's been my experience. They don't want to talk about the past, and especially if it's not relevant to the future
Right.
or the present moment. They're so energetically a higher vibration than us.
Hmm.
And somebody will say, well, what about the dog that bit my child? Or what about the dog that attacked me? Just like in life, we can't make sense out of a lot of hate crimes or bad things. You can't wrap your head around it.
Hmm.
Generally speaking, people that hate or do these things, just like an animal, they were not treated well as children or their earlier life.
Right.
It's just like people. That's why I can feel a personality of a pet that feels and sounds just like a human. There's absolutely no difference in their soul than a person's soul.
Hmm.
They'll talk to me just like you and I are having a conversation right now.
That's so cool.
And they do communicate like that, but most of us think we're losing our minds, like if we thought that that would be a real conversation.
Hmm.
You're talking to your cat, right? You're having a whole conversation with your
Oh,
cat,
yeah.
and you love animals so much that you think, well, maybe I need to get a pet communicator to help me figure out if this is real or that my cat really understands me. They understand everything. Like the moment you think it,
Hmm.
like the very moment you're having the thought in real time, they're understanding it in real time.
That's really good to know because I always worry about my fosters. Like, I know I'm preparing them for their next, but then I'm so worried and devastated like that day that they leave me. And so many of them are in the greatest homes ever, but I'm like, do they think I just like left them? Do they think
No, it's so beautiful what you do. I
do
know.
they feel our sadness or loss when they go? I promise this is like the one question about death. So when they pass and we are devastated, are they feeling our sadness about that?
Yeah, they don't leave you. They can't, it's hard for them to ascend. They stay with us for 49 days. They stay close. And then at the 49th, 50th day, they start to ascend, but they still stay close. They're your guides and your
Mm.
angels. They will come back to you or stay in spirit to help you. But we're all here together. We're all loving pet owners. We all love our animals like crazy. And I think I discussed when you're in your darkest hour of need, that animal will be by your side. I can see them. I see them. I see spirit animals. So I know my Rosie, when I didn't think I was gonna make it through the night, like I thought I was so ill. I got up to go to the bathroom. I discussed this once before, and I just was like so out of it. And I glanced down, and she was curled
Yeah.
up by my right by where my head would be on my bed. So they're always around us to protect us, to love us, to help shield us. And that is like why it is so important. Unless you're in rescue and rehab like you are, you can't keep all of them,
Yep.
right? You can't. You want to, they're supposed to go to their next special
Yeah.
place. And that's why you put them back
Yeah.
together, to help them move on. You're like a foster
Hmm.
mommy. You
Yeah.
are. So it's important that they move on to the next thing, the next
Yeah.
person. And it's hard to separate. I mean, a few of yours, you had to keep for obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah, sometimes they stick around. We call that a foster
Yeah.
fail in my community. They really do. Do you ever get an owner who wants to solve like a particular problem? I love these stories. Like, make the cat
Yeah.
stop biting my girlfriend when she sleeps over, or the dog keeps doing this or that, and I don't know why. Can you think of a story where this happens, where like the animal is like doing some weird behavior and they tell you why they're doing it?
The thing of it is, like, these silly people like that talk to an animal communicator and say, okay, I'm on the phone with you now. Make my dog walk across the room. Really, I mean, I've had that. And I'm like, well, we
Yeah.
all have free will. I don't demand this of any soul. Um, and no, your grandfather is not going to tell me exactly what car he drove if you're a
Right. The
non-believer.
test.
He wants to give you the subtle messages that come through me, and you're either going to be open enough to really embrace these beautiful messages, or, you're not my
Right.
person, not my tribe. But yeah, I have had people say to me, "Can you figure out why my dog is constantly peeing on my
Wow.
bed?" Or something like that. I've had that. And sometimes I'm able to, and sometimes I'm
Hmm.
not. I mean, it's kind of
Well,
like
especially if
that.
they don't know. But if it's medical, do you sometimes feel that? Like, oh, you might
Mhm.
want to check out his bladder. You
No,
might.
I've told people your cat has a urinary tract
Hmm.
infection, and they didn't even know because they'll make me feel that area of my
Yeah.
body, or they'll just tell me it hurts, it's this, it's that. And I'm being woken up at night, you
Yeah.
know.
Do animals ever relay to you their purpose or what they're here to help their owner with?
No, they won't reveal it to me. I mean, I haven't had that, but the owner will know
Mm,
because it'll be like they got me through law school, they got me through medical school, or they got me through being away at college, or they helped me through my mother's death, or this,
right.
it's always that thing. Um, the owner always knows. I don't even have to touch that topic,
Hmm.
because people are so connected to their
Yeah.
animals, and there is a real reason. This is not a mistake. We are blessed to have animals in the world for us. Like that's a gift and a blessing. And I thank God every day for my two babies. That's a miracle and a
Yeah.
blessing.
Can we ask for signs from them? When they like, okay, when you come to visit, send me a bird or send me, can we ask them to like let us know when they're there? I mean, we all wish we could see them on the bed next to us like you do, but can we ask them to give us a sign, or
That was only once or
can
twice
we learn to
that,
feel them?
when.
Can we like train ourselves to feel? My
Mhm.
sister has a story about her hearing the collar after her dog passed. Like everybody has those stories. So there are those
Not
things.
everybody. That's a good
Oh,
one. I love that one. I look out of the corner of my eye and I swear. they were there, and they were.
I have seen shadows coming
That's,
down the stairs because
of
I come down the stairs and
course.
they all come down the stairs after me to eat. And I've seen shadows on the stairs so many times. Yeah, that's a good
Hmm.
one.
And orbs, animals can be like little white orbs too. I remember when I was living in a different place, and I used to meditate and do my animal readings in this place, and my dog was looking under my closet, and I couldn't see it with my naked eye. She would just go like this under the closet, and she did it in this house. I think they follow me everywhere, all these animal souls. And I started to videotape what she was looking at, and I kid you not, all these little tiny orbs, these little, like, they look like little lightning bugs.
Oh,
I miss lightning bugs. They look like little lightning bugs on video, and I still have that video. It's a great video.
that is cool.
So you'll see shadows, you'll feel them, you'll smell them, you'll see the best is when people say, there was a dent in my bed.
Hmm.
There was a dent in the bed, in the sheets, and I love that one. Or I could smell him, or I feel him, or, there's so many amazing signs, like a license plate, just like in spirit, just like talking to dead people. It's very, very similar, and it's subtle, and it's, the world of spirit. So when you want to really feel that, you have to slow down and like really slow down and not be a human doing, and go inward and really unwind and do the meditative work. Because then they pop in easier. They pop in easier when you have less grief, when you don't have the heavy, heavy shroud of grief over you. Because grief is such a huge block to getting the messages, but they will appear in your dreams when you're grieving. You will see them. I've had clients say they haven't been in my dreams, and I'm like, they're trying to come in your dreams, but you're not sleeping well enough. So they won't come in your dreams
Right.
if you're not able to sleep, or if it would be too hard on you to see them in your dreams. Like maybe it would mess up your work day and you have to be able to function, especially if there's a lot of
Hmm.
trauma when an animal would depart. That's the worst. And as an animal communicator, I have to be able to hold the space, that buzzword, hold space, but it's really true. Like when people come with very traumatic things, like I won't repeat because we're all so sensitive, but there have been some traumatic things that it's hard not to ever forget. And people felt like they had a need to tell me. I wish they wouldn't, but they have to,
Right.
because they're spinning
Yes.
and going over and over and over. And it's like you gotta have to break that cycle. And if that means telling somebody to break it, it would help. But what I really do is I try to get people into trauma therapy when it was a traumatic, because it's like the brain just replays it and replays it
Right.
and replays it, and the dog is already free.
Yeah.
The dog is free, or the cat is
Yeah.
free in spirit. Just, it's like I wish I could take all of them. I remember when I was looking for a house, and this lady was an animal person, and she had all her animals in this house. And we didn't have a place to live yet, so I wasn't able to take them all. But I remember walking into one of the rooms, and she told her real estate agent, I had to do the lockbox because I'm a realtor, so they would let you into the house. And I would go through this woman's house, and I still never forgot this woman's home, because I walked into a room and they said, he's loose, but he's very friendly. And I love everything, right? And this beautiful bearded dragon. Oh,
Yeah.
popped his beautiful head out from the blanket, like, hi. And I still think about all this women's pets. I wanted to take all of them. She had the most beautiful birds, like gorgeous red giant birds. And everybody was so calm in this house.
Huh.
It was virtually empty of furniture, but just the animals were all there. And even the geese, somebody was caretaking them, so nobody has to worry. They were all fed and beautiful, and she had geese outside. And I was like, what do I do? I've got to buy this house somehow, and take all these animals. But thank God that passed. But it's like, I was telling somebody today, like when I first started, I was so sensitive. Thank God you build that
Right.
thickness up. Your etheric field gets built up. I'm sure you've heard that before,
Well,
right? The longer you're
experience,
doing
yeah,
this.
and your development, so you know how to frame
Hmm.
things to people, or sometimes if people aren't developed, they'll just say some things and
That I haven't thought about, but I do. I used to be so sensitive. Like if I saw an animal in
yeah.
danger on a freeway, I would be in bed for like 2 days after I would see like a German Shepherd running
Hmm.
along the side of the freeway because even though the cars were kind of gridlocked, I knew that that dog was in danger and there was nothing I could do about it. That's the kind of thing that used to.
Yeah. Is it that we're just sensitive, or am I the angel of death? Why do they come?
No, no, it's your
Yeah.
energy, your field. Because I've rescued so many myself. Even when I was a kid, I just remember I was driving on a road. I was 16 and licensed in New York State. I was driving on a dark road and I saw a raccoon in the street that was hit. And they're pretty dangerous raccoons.
You've
I
told
threw
me.
my new leather jacket over it and I brought it to a vet. So, yeah, we do
Yeah.
things. That's just what we do.
Although you can tell them, like, I'm trying to help you. I'm an animal psychic.
Oh, they know. They know. It's
Yeah.
energy. It's all we're all energy. We're just using these bodies.
Well, do you have a message for everybody? You know what? Let's recap where to find you, first of all.
Oh,
Yes.
SusanAllenMedium.com.
That's where you can find Susan and catch her when she does go live because it is fun to hear these stories in person. I'm lucky because I get to just listen in on some of the your pet events. And sometimes you will get, and people I don't think realize, we call them in the spiritual community like winks or postcards. When you're listening to other people's
Hmm.
readings, there could very much be something in there for you that,
Oh, there always is. There's a healing. There's a message. I get it all the
yeah. So
time.
it's
Yeah.
so good. Don't think like, oh, the group thing. I don't know.
Oh, should I save this story for the next one? Like, I get so excited over these
What is
stories.
it?
Do we
No, we
have to
don't.
go? Okay. So this man called me after hearing me on Coast to Coast Radio with George Norrie, and he said I just lost my dog, but I don't have kids. My wife does have kids from previous marriage. He's an older gentleman, and he goes, I'm just like really devastated. And I just got on and I knew the breed. I go, oh, this is a skipper key. I mean, how I know this, I don't know,
Yeah.
because he goes, yes, it's a skipper key. And I said, well, he's with his mom. And I thought, that's a weird thing to say. I just blurted it out. And he goes, no, he's not with his mom. We know the breeder. And I said, okay. And I just like I hear a no, but I just blow through a no to the next thing. Like I don't
Sure.
let it stop me or hurt me or any emails my assistant Chelsea and he says, we called the breeder after the reading. An hour before the reading, this dog's mother passed.
Oh,
Is that crazy? So he told me I'm with my mother. Oh my God.
wow.
I love all that. Like I get the guide bumps, like you can't make it up.
That's cool that they can go back to theirs too. You know, especially like in rescue and stuff to know that they can see their little animal moms and dads and
It was obviously a
yeah.
connection between him and his mom. Like you
Yeah.
don't know who they're gonna go to. We don't know anything. We know so little, you know? I always say, like, think of everything as a freaking miracle, folks. Your lives will become so much richer and
Yeah.
better. Turn the news off. Be in the magical. Yeah, you got to keep a job. Yeah, you got to feed your kids. But when you're not there, not in the thinking world, stay as magic as you
Hmm.
can,
I agree. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
From my soul to yours, and from our animals to us all until we meet again. Mwah.